This is my part 3, I think. I don't even know. But this is kind of like my part 2.1, I'm pretty sure, for the relational acuity book. Because if I'm remembering right, I left off like somewhere in the middle of page 207. So I'm just going to try to hurry up and pick back up where I left off. Okay. She begins to reason that she is a victim of her own beauty. This causes her to quietly fear relationships with other women. If deeply rooted enough, this fear will eventually cause her to objectify other women. So again, let's say that this particular woman, albeit beautiful, has extremely low self-esteem. Even though she is extremely conceited, note, conceit and self-esteem are not one and the same. Just like pride and self-esteem isn't really one and the same. People who have those high egos going, it's really a facade 9 times out of 10. Conceit is typically built on vanity, whereas self-esteem is typically built on character. Because she believes that every man is a cheater, every man wants her, and every woman is jealous of her, she may respond to her trauma by 1. Having affairs with married men, 2. Posting photos of herself in an attempt to garner the attention of men, and then exposing or threatening to expose every married man who dares to inbox her, 3. Make a lot of condescending posts and statements about women. For example, she may say, I don't know why black women are so insecure. Listen, I don't want your man. Your man wants me. Ask him. That sounds familiar, but I don't know who I've heard say that. 4. Isolating herself. 5. Surrounding herself with women who are also beautiful but traumatized. These ladies will typically form a trauma bond around their beliefs. This is how mean girl squads are formed. And I guess I'll just read this last page, which is 208. This is because generalization is the highest expression of trauma. How relational generalization works is 1. We are traumatized in a particular area. 2. We focus on a certain aspects of the person who traumatized us. 3. We are traumatized again in that area. 4. We notice that the person who traumatized us this time bears certain similarities to the person who traumatized us the last time. 5. We notice a pattern of trauma in our lives and we begin to attribute that trauma to a certain group of people, rather than acknowledging the fact that we have what is referred to as quote-unquote a type. And this kind of reminds me of how, like, one example, my enabler sister, and I'm sure this is really common, my enabler sister, like, still wanted somebody to lean on and to pretend that she had someone to be there for her. So what she did is, instead of equally understanding the issues of both of our parents, what she eventually did, instead of saying she hates both of our parents, because at one point she wouldn't even call them mom or dad, so eventually she just said, I'm just going to throw all of my anger onto our dad and call it a day. Although I don't really see her as one of the kill-all men types, so I've never heard her say anything like that really. But commonly people like who do things like that will become the kill-all men type. A type, spiritually speaking, is nothing but a familiar spirit that we have yet to end our relationships with. 6. We stop forming relationships with people who fall into that category, or we form relationships with them, all the while keeping our guards up or trying to control the direction of the relationship by controlling them. Non-relational generalization includes racism, sexism, and pretty much anything that ends with ism.